We're back with another episode. We're back with another episode of Britt Says Season 2. And I am so excited for Season 2 because I got so much stuff lined up for y'all. Like, it's crazy. Like, literally, like, it's crazy. I'm teaming up with some NYC podcasters, some LA podcasters, and like, yeah. Like, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching however you do it. Season 2 is going to be a movie, so you should definitely stay tuned. What have I been up to? You could definitely go watch in between seasons, see what I have been up to throughout my journey of filming Season 2 versus the podcast. It's a lot of work. Shout out to the people who like do podcasts every single day. Like, I don't know how y'all find guests every day, or like people who put out an episode once a week. Like, shout outs to you. If I wanted to, I probably could put out an episode every single day if it was just me, or every single week. But finding guests, like people who have guests on every single episode, shout outs to you, because Lord had mercy. It was work on top of work on top of work. But I'm excited because this episode is called How You Gonna Win If You Ain't Right Within. And we talk about self-love. Like, I feel like you can't have a podcast and never had an episode about self-love. Like, it's just virtually impossible. And yeah, I'm here to talk about it. I'm here to discuss it. And, before every topic, we expand our minds. Expand your mind, expand your mind, expand your mind. If you're a new listener, basically, I do research on the topic. I grab notes from an article that I read, and I talk about the topic at hand. So, in an article on medicalnewstoday.com written by Anna Sadolu states, why is self-love important, you might ask? For many of us, self-love might sound like a luxury rather than a necessity, or a new age fad for those with too much time on their hands. Ironically, however, self-care and compassion might actually be needed most by those of us who work too hard and who are constantly striving to surpass ourselves and grasp the shape-shifting phantasm of perfection. So, one of the key parts in it to me was, ironically, however, self-care and compassion might actually be needed most by those of us who work too hard and who are constantly striving to surpass ourselves. Because I think that sometimes when people think of like self-love, they think of like, not dating the wrong person, not hanging around the wrong crowd, which is totally key to self-love. But also just like calming down, knowing that things are going to happen in time, loving yourself, believing in yourself, knowing that you will strive and surpass, whatever it is that you're seeking to surpass. Have I struggled with loving myself? Of course, I'm human. I'm naturally human. Like, I am flawed. It's been times when I'm like, oh, he's not good to me. This person I date around, they all go bad. And you're like, ugh. Well, I never really be like, I hate myself. I always kind of sometimes think I'm a vibe. You feel me? Like, it is what it is. Because you have to love yourself at all times, no matter what. But it's times where you just feel like really low. Maybe you working somewhere where you don't feel it's perfect. Maybe you're dating someone and you feel like they're not, ideal, and you just kind of like fall out of love with yourself. And what's important is picking that back up, making sure you still a vibe or whatever you're doing you. And it's definitely ways, you can do that. And I think that self-love is just key to preservation. That's one of my favorite quotes. I always said I wanted to get that tatted on me, and I just never found the time to do it. But it really is. Like, self-love is the key to preservation. And people need to understand that self-love is all different aspects of life. It's not just dating or just work. It's everything. Everything is self-love. Which love is more important, to love oneself or others? Now, that question to me is like so deep, because some people think like self-love is just loving yourself. I think that loving others is a beautiful trait to have, to love not just another being, but to love your family, to love your friends. Is so key to life. Just to be a loving person is so important. But I think the question that gets complex is like when you're married or something like that, when you have kids, like what's more important, to love oneself or love others? That's when I think it's a crazy question, because obviously to love yourself is obviously key. If you're single, you're not dating anyone, you don't have children, duh. Like, who else you gonna love? I mean, you could love your parents and stuff like that, but like major key is you. With having kids and a husband, I mean, you still gotta love yourself more than me. I don't know why I say that to say, because I'm one of those people who believe that you can't be loved unless you love yourself. And a lot of people say, I know people who say they hate that quote, but I feel like you have to love yourself in order to love other people. Because if you don't love yourself, it's easy to be manipulated. It's easy to believe anything someone tells you. It's easy to not really, care about yourself in some ways. Like, but when you love yourself, you know your worth, and you be like, nah, I'm not dealing with that. Nah, I'm not doing that. Nah, I'm not interested. Like, it's very, very easy to decide what you will and will not do. So I feel like to love yourself is so important. And also, if you're raising children, they have to see that you love yourself, that you care about yourself, that you think you like, so that when they grow up, they know, like, they want to exude the same energy that you exude as their parent. If they see you kind of like all the time, or you're not like strong-headed, then they kind of grow and mold to be a mini version of you, and that's not what you want. And as it pertains to loving your husband, I mean, you should love yourself as I was gonna say as much as you love him. You gotta love yourself more, because you never know. Let's just put it that way. I'm gonna leave that topic in the air, because woohoo, chile. And what's the difference between narcissism and self-love? Like, for me, I feel like narcissism is when you kind of obsessed with you in a toxic way, meaning like you like care about what you wear, how you look constantly. Yeah, self-love is caring about how you look, I think, but it's just in this real toxic way. Are you the type of person that when you get around people, you have to talk about you can't hear others out? You're a narcissist. You care strictly about yourself. You will do anything to make sure you're good, but not like, it sounds like self-love OD, because that's like, I gotta make sure I ain't got me. Like, that dream sound like self-love, but it's the difference between toxic. Now, let me try to give an example, because there's examples. Like, let's say, for instance, is that really not, like, it's so weird. Like, what's narcissist? Like, you want to do something, you want to go out, you want to hang out with your friends, right? And let's say your friend lives in Westchester or something, somewhere far. No, not Westchester. Like, what's far? Okay, I'll say Westchester. And then you live in Manhattan, and you want to go out, but you kind of like, I ain't traveling all the way to Westchester though. But every time y'all go out, she come to Manhattan, and you can't go to Westchester one good old time. Like, that type of thing. Like, you just, it's all about you at all times. You don't look out for nobody. It's all about you. With your, whatever way you want it, you gotta have it. no matter who gets hurt in the end, no matter how it impacts another person, it's about you. Now, a person who's a good person is not like that. Are you going to have to make sacrifices for those that you love? Sometimes, yes. And they don't have to be big. They could be just as small as going to a party in Westchester. That's a small sacrifice. And that's what you got to know when you're being a narcissistic and when you're being... Like, that's not even... That's really a narcissist, because going to a party in a area further from where you live is not even having nothing to do with self-love. Like, straight up. Those are what we call toxic people. And I just feel like you just got to know the difference between, like, self-love and narcissistic behavior. And sometimes certain people really don't really know the difference between that. And it is a hard topic to understand, because I also feel like, too, people use the word narcissist real loosely as well, because I hear people say that constantly, like, she's narcissistic. Like, is she really? Are you saying that because that person gave you an answer you didn't want? Sometimes people hate hearing the word no, or I'm not doing that, and then they like to label you as a narcissist because you chose yourself over someone else's needs. And that is where self-love gets really sticky. But let me tell you where self-love gets sticky. With that one word. Is this one word. No. No is the word where self-love gets sticky. People hate to hear the word no. No could be a podcast episode in its own form. With the word no, it is a pinnacle to self-love, because sometimes you're gonna have to say no. You cannot be there for everybody. You cannot do everything for everybody. You gotta choose you. And sometimes when you gotta choose you, you gotta say no. And sometimes you might be scared to say no. That could be problem number one. Or problem number two, sometimes the person you gotta say no to, they ain't really interested in hearing no. And then when they hear that no, they're like, oh, it's just a narcissist. You're obsessed with yourself. What's wrong with you? Are you going through something? Nah, sis, I just don't want to do it. It's about me. If I don't feel like getting God to do that, that's what I don't want to do. Like, and I think no is such a key word to self-love. Like, it's just a key word. Like, and I think that's the word that really just triggers people to be like kind of hard on themselves when it comes to self-love. I think it's one of the things that makes it hard to like really have some self-love, because you feel like you constantly have to say yes to everything sometimes when you really want to say no. So I do think we need to find a weird way to differentiate narcissism and self-love. If you think you know the answer to the difference between narcissism and self-love, you know, comment below, leave a review, let me know. Because that is a tricky question, very tricky question. Have I ever been in a space where I genuinely hated myself? If yes, how did I get out of that rut? Never ever been in a space where I genuinely hated myself. Thank God yet. You know, I'm only 27. But I won't come up here and try to make a drama series. You feel me? Like, I never, like, hated myself over something, you know, small. No. But I do know that sometimes people do hate themselves for poor decisions they make or things that they've done, or they felt like they could have made a better choice. I've had that, but I never was like, I hate myself. Like, I never, you know, did something like that where I felt like, you know, I made a poor, you know, choice or a decision in which made me hate myself. No. The way to get out of a rut where you feel like you hate yourself is really just taking care of yourself. Go get your nails and feet done. Go to the spa. Go to the movies. Go take yourself out to eat. Eat some of your favorite food. Cook. Do things that make you happy. Self-love is all about self. And I think that people tend to forget that self-love is so important, because it's self-love. It's you. You gotta deal with you every single day. Period. Your man can walk out your life. Your kids gotta go to school. You can't see them, but you gotta deal with you on a regular day basis. You are inside your skin, your flesh. You gotta deal with you all the time. You ain't got no choice. Other things you have in some ways a choice, or you can separate yourself from that person for a while. Like technically, when your kids get older, you could separate yourself from them for a while. They could go off to school. Now you got one thing to worry about. If you don't like him in, you can break up with his ass. But at the end of the day, you always got you. You in your skin forever, honey. Until your time has ticked, until your time is complete, until you are done on this earth, you gotta deal with you. And that's why self-love is so important. Because you have no choice but to deal with you on a regular day basis. And until you understand that, I mean, hey, you gotta deal with you. You gotta deal with you on a regular day basis all the freaking time. And I think that's why it's so important to just like really embrace yourself, grasp yourself. Because if your body reacts off of everything. If you're not feeding yourself right, it's gonna react. If you unhappy, it's gonna react. If you're stressed out, it's gonna react. It's constantly a reacting thing. It's constantly switching emotions and just changing. It's constantly changing. So that's why self-love is so important. I just feel like people have a tendency to like really forget that they're in their flesh because we're in it. If that makes sense, like you're in it all day long, so you don't realize how important you are to you, which is scary. It's scary to not realize how important you are to you. And also another thing we need to think about when we think about self-love is kind of embracing who you are at the moment always also. So let's say you're overweight, but you want to lose weight. Beautiful. Go lose weight. But don't hate yourself while you're big. Like, still love yourself. Still get dressed. Still look nice. Still put on a good face. And then, go to the gym and lose it. You can't hate yourself in a certain phase of yourself. You have to always love yourself at all phases. Like, I feel like, too, honestly, I'm overweight. I eat. It makes me happy. But I feel like I still go out. I still do me in the shape that I'm in. And I embraced it. Like, I feel like, honestly, I feel like, shout out to, like, people, that's overweight. They eat, they do their thing, and they still a vibe. Like, food is a vibe. Thickness is a vibe. It's all a vibe. Like, guys, like, you gotta love yourself in every aspect that you're in. Constantly. Like, you have to love yourself. You can't, I hate that I'm fat and then go to the gym and lose the weight. Yes, we get it. That is a part of self-love too. If you hate something about it, fix it. That's fixable, then go fix it. But you still gotta love yourself in that moment, because you could crash so quickly. Like, you could gain mad weight tomorrow and then just crash completely, and that could be a downfall. You could be going such a depressive funk that you could lose your job because you're going to work and not putting in enough effort because you mad, you big, but you gonna lose it. So chill, sis. Like, you can't be doing stuff like that, or you go in such a depressive funk that you're not really engaging with your partner, and now he or she going off cheating because you mad you a little big, but you was gonna lose the weight in about 3 months anyway. So you was depressed for a moment for nothing. Honestly, like, you gotta love yourself in all phases, and when you love yourself in all phases, people gonna love you in all phases too. They gonna love you when you a cute 100. They gonna love you when you a cute 200. Like, they're gonna be like, oh, she lost it, she gained it, she lost it, she gained it. Like, let's talk about it. So you gotta really, the energy you exude to is how people gonna react to you as well. And that's another reason why self-love is so important. What is the easy way of getting in the habit of loving yourself? I think starting small, Small ways I say is like nails and feet. Like, just doing things that's cute to you, because that's a you thing. Doing your hair, I feel like in some way is a self-love, and that's not like going to the hair salon and get your hair done. I mean, literally, sometimes when I just go and do my own box braids, I'll just like touch my hair, slick it back, put it in a bun. Little things like that. Take a bubble bath. Put a bath bomb in your tub. Small things. Small. Start small and then you could go big. I think self-love is important too. You know why? Because once you really like love yourself, you're not scared to do things on your own. Like, I went to the movies by myself. If you watch In Between Seasons, I went to the movies by myself. I feel like somebody who's so insecure or like worried about what everybody thinks about them wouldn't go to a movie by themselves or go out to eat by themselves. Like, really sit down in a restaurant and eat by yourself. Or they wouldn't feel comfortable doing little things by yourself. Go on vacation by yourself. I've never been on vacation by myself, but it is like my list of things to do. I want to try that one day and like just see what it's like. I feel like it'll be weird. If you have vacation by yourself, let me know in the comments below. But I feel like people like that, they have in some way a strong love for themselves. Like, to get up and be like, I'll go vacation with myself. I'll go to movies by myself. I can go do this by myself. Like, you can do whatever the hell you please. Like, I feel like that says a lot. Like, it shows in some ways the amount of self-love you have for yourself. And that's just my opinion. I know some people probably like, that's how you determine self-love. I'm not saying that's how I determine it, but it's a key freaking factor. Some people who constantly need somebody, like, they have to be around people constantly. They need somebody to be with them at the movie theaters. They need somebody. Like, you really about to miss out on a good movie because you ain't got nobody to go with. Or you really about to miss out on some good food because you ain't got nobody to go with. Now you got to go to Uber Eats. Like, for real, sis. Like, Uber Eats has changed the game. Like, you really don't need to go out to eat because I remember before, like, you wanted the restaurant food, but you got to go to the restaurant and go get it. I've eaten by myself. I think I only did that once though. It was cool. It was cute. But you do feel kind of rushed. Like, I felt rushed because I feel like everybody's like, why is she by herself? So it's kind of weird. But I mean, I did it and I think it's dope. And I think that's one of the key ways to, like, you know, loving yourself and just having that certain self-love, self-loathing and feeling for yourself. Another thing, I think why self-love is so key, like I said before, you're not going to tolerate much when you really love yourself. And sometimes too, you don't have to tolerate anything, but you might tolerate some shit, but because you love yourself so much, it won't get to you as roughly. And that's key for me, because I know back then, because I was so like insecure or rowdy and ramped up, that I felt like I had to react to everything. And then when you love yourself, when you know yourself, you be like, oh, okay. I know why you're doing this. You're doing this for attention from me. People could read your energy so drastically. Like, if they see you feeling yourself a little too much, if they think you a vibe, they don't like that. A lot of people don't like confidence. They don't like that. When they see somebody that's a little too confident, a little too smart, a little too intelligent, a little too self-loved, they want to bring you down to the bottom with them. I'm dead serious. Because they like, honestly, I tried to get you tight and you ain't get tight, and I have a problem with that. Like, honestly, you think you that bitch and you're not. And they kind of, that bothers people so much. And when something bothers somebody so much, it kind of is a dope thing. And I think that's why, another reason why self-love is so key. Like, just imagine having that type of love for yourself where something might happen and you kind of like, I'm gonna touch a vibe. I'm not gonna even entertain you right now. Like, my energy is so valuable. I'm not gonna even entertain you right now. I think a lot of people think that that's maturity. That's not just maturity. It is a sense of maturity, but it's also a sense of self-love. Yes, definitely. To be able to have something happen in your life, or just a moment, and you be like, nah, I'm not giving you that energy. I can't. That you gotta have a certain mind state where you, before you say I'm not gonna react, you have a certain mind state like, nah. You ain't even worth it. That means you think you it. You think you it, honey. Like, you think you it. You when somebody get you tight and you be like, you look at them, nah, I'm not even about to entertain you. Or you might entertain them, but you won't put your hands on them. Because I know some people, they got to get their words out. Some people who like to fight, they be like, the old me would have beat your ass. But I'm not. That's self-love, Buttercup. That's a form of self-love. That's not just maturity. That is a form of something when you care about. Because you know how people say too, like, people who be ready to fight, get it popping, get it rocking, get it dropping. Those be the main people that they say they ain't got nothing to lose. You don't want to be a bitch that ain't got nothing to lose. If you feel like you ain't got nothing to lose, that means you don't care if you lose yourself. Hello. Like, and if you don't care if you lose yourself, then you don't love yourself. And we here on this podcast, on this episode, on this season 2, we're self-loving. We're not allowing nonsensical things to come into our life and shake us up and drive us nuts. We're not doing that. Self-love is key, baby. Like, and once you love yourself, you gonna attract a lot of dope things. When you love yourself, you attract dope like behavior, dope like people, and people start to read you. Self-love could get you in trouble too. It's something I feel like is not brought up, and it needs to get brought up. Self-love could get you in some shit, and I'm gonna tell you how it could get you into some shit. Are they gonna perceive it as you don't care? Even though you dead actually care, you're just not letting them get that energy from you. And some people don't like that. They're like, wait, what? Huh? What? Yeah, I said what I said. Like, oh, I reacted how I reacted. They don't like when you moving like you don't give a fuck. Like, people really don't like that type of energy where you feel like they'll see you like not react how they expected you to react, and then they'll be like, two people be seeing you walking with your head a little too high, and they like, nah, I don't like it. People hate people who kind of like love themselves. Not even in a narcissistic way. Yes, narcissistic people are not dope. But a self-loving person, a lot of people don't like those type of people because it's like, why you think you a vibe? Like, they looking at you like you a regular degular. Like, you regular. You just a person. Like, life is you walking around like you ain't got issues, and they got issues, and they wearing it on their body and their aura. Yes, people fake for Instagram, and we talk about that. Or everybody talks about that. Like, you don't know what people going through. They put what's good online. And that's a different story. Or they faking for Instagram, flexing for Instagram. But to me, when you see somebody in person and, you know, they kind of like love themselves or they care about themselves in a certain specific way, I think that's really good. Like, I really do. I genuinely believe that that's good, you know. I'm not saying, like, you could wear your heart on your sleeve, but with the right people. Like, just with the right people. Like, don't expose yourself to everybody. And not everything is meant to be exposed to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you should walk around with a certain amount of confidence, and it might shake people up, and it might get people a little upset and angry. But you gotta embrace that. You gotta love that. You gotta enjoy that. I think that's why self-love is so important. And why is self-love dope to me? Like, I just feel like it's because you ain't tolerating a lot of shenanigans. Like, that's why it's so important. Like, self-love is the key to preservation. Like, once you love yourself, you ain't going to do nothing to yourself. You want to super protect yourself. You know, when you love something, you just like, I'm taking it as mine. Like, that's how you should be treating yourself. Like, I'm mine. Like, it's just different, and it's key. Like, I come here not to just teach you what's about self-love. I come here to teach you why it's important, and the deep rootedness of it, and how it could genuinely change your life. It's life changing. This in itself is helping me. Hello, good morning, good evening. Like, I never thought of it on such an aspect where, you know, you would feel like, wow, if I love myself, how much I could get done. I think we all talk about self-love. And there's a difference between self-love and self-care as well. And I think that's something that people don't talk about enough. Self-care is grooming. That's what I think of when self-care is, like grooming, making sure your hair is healthy, your teeth, you know, your eyes, your health. I think of self-care. When I think of self-love, I think of your mental is straight, you straight, you good. A person with extreme confidence loves their self. And there's nothing wrong with confidence. Nothing wrong with confidence. People be screaming like, oh, you need to love yourself and care about yourself. But then when you confident, people be mad like, why is she so happy? Why is she laughing? Why is she kikiing? Why she think life is a joke? Cause what you want me to do? Be mad? Certain stuff is out of our control, number one. Like, a lot of things is really real life out of our control. Like, it's like, what you want? You feel me? Like, we can't control everything. We can only control how we react to it. And when you love yourself, you're going to react to things in such a mature manner and such a dope manner. And I think that's just what it is and how it's going to be. If I was to recap self-love, this episode, I would just say, remember, self-love is the key to preservation. It always will be the key to preservation. And to just care about yourself, love yourself in every way, every shape, every form, every fashion. If there's something you want to change, by all means, fix it, but love yourself in that moment. Always. I do think you should love yourself in any form. Period. Like, I really do believe that. That's just me, you know. For instance, like, I got braces. I had a gap. I had spacey teeth. Some people be like, oh, God gave you them spacey old teeth. You should love it. And I did love myself when I had my little spacey old teeth. Don't get it twisted. Like, I definitely did. But I just wanted straight teeth. Like, I love space teeth Brittany and I love straight teeth Brittany. Like, they're both the same girl. Different teeth, same girl. Like, it was just a preference for me. Since preference is a word that's being thrown around, you know, all these episodes are pre-recorded. But yeah, love yourself in all forms of fashion. And if there's anything you want to change, then make that change. And I'm going to wrap up the self-love episode. Self-love, how you gonna win if you ain't right within? And like I said in the beginning of the podcast, get excited. I want y'all to get ramped up, riled up. Like, I want your head to go like that. Like this is a teaser to me. Like, episode 1 was like, I want y'all to get ramped up. Like, I want y'all head to shake, because I'm even shaking, because I don't even know what people gonna say. All this stuff is pre-recorded. I do episodes weekly, so I'm just excited to see what's gonna come next. And yeah, I will see you guys on episode number dos. Remember last season? If you never watched last, and if you haven't watched season 1, if you just happen to run into this episode of Britt Says, you need to go and watch Britt Says season 1. Like, maybe you was on this little moment where you wasn't loving yourself, and then you found this video on YouTube, or you found this podcast episode, God knows where, or somebody recommended it to you, and this is the only episode you've ever listened to or watched. You gotta go. You need to subscribe first, and then you need to go watch everything else. Period. You need to go listen, watch all of Britt Says. If you haven't watched In Between Seasons, go watch it. Y'all need to, if y'all don't knock it off, y'all need to go subscribe, go review, go like, go comment, do what you gotta do. I will see you on the next episode of Britt says, and I will have a special guest. I'm not telling y'all. I'm never telling y'all. Y'all just gotta watch. Y'all gotta listen. Stay tuned. See you guys.